Some stories start with a birth. This one starts with a wound. Nothing alive has ever opened its eyes here, because nothing alive exists yet. 4.5 billion years ago, Earth is barely a planet at all. It is a molten scar of a world, spinning through a solar system still throwing rocks at itself. There is no blue. There is no green. There is only a churning skin of liquid rock glowing under a sky that hasn't decided yet whether it wants to be an atmosphere or poison. Picture this world stripped of everything familiar. No ground to stand on, no air to breathe, no horizon that stays still long enough to trust. This is the world before the world we know, and it will take almost 2 billion years, not for humans to appear, not even for the first animal, but simply for the planet to calm down enough to let anything survive on it at all. Look closer, and there's still no ocean here. Not really. No stable ground. Just heat, radiating outward from a crust so young it hasn't finished deciding its own shape. Somewhere above, a sky thick with volcanic ash and steam blocks out whatever light might otherwise reach the surface. This is Earth in its Hadean age, named fittingly after the Underworld, because for a very long time, that's exactly what it resembles. And yet, slowly, painfully slowly, something changes. The crust hardens. Not everywhere, not evenly, but enough. Rain begins to fall onto the hardened, steaming ground. Not gentle rain, but a relentless, ongoing downpour that lasts for what may be millions of years. Basin after basin fills with water boiled straight out of the sky. This is how Earth gets its first oceans. Not gifted, earned, drop by scalding drop against a planet that is still actively trying to kill anything that might live on it. By the time the Archean age begins, Earth finally has something resembling a surface. Continents, small, jagged, barely continents at all, poke up through a global ocean lit by volcanic glow instead of sunset. Along the sea floor, cracks in the crust vent scalding, mineral-rich water directly from the planet's interior. Imagine standing beside one of these vents, if standing here were even possible. The water alone would be scalding enough to kill almost anything we know today. These hydrothermal vents are violent, toxic, completely inhospitable by any human standard. And it's exactly here, in that impossible violence, that life very likely begins. Not as a dramatic spark, not as a single miraculous moment. Life on early Earth doesn't announce itself. It simply persists. Chemistry finds a way to sustain itself, cycle after cycle, in the mineral chimneys of the vent field. Until something crosses the line between geology and biology so quietly that no one, if anyone had been watching, would have noticed the exact moment it happened. There is no plant on this earth. There is no animal. There will not be one for a very long time. What exists instead are colonies, too small to see. Mats of microorganisms clinging to shallow, sunlit waters. Among them, one lineage matters more than any other: Cyanobacteria. Unremarkable to look at, utterly world-changing in what they do. They take in sunlight, they release oxygen, and in doing so, they begin, invisibly, gradually, to rewrite the chemistry of an entire planet. Layer by layer, these microbial mats trap sediment and mineral, building upward into low, banded mounds along the shoreline. These are stromatolites. Not rocks, not quite living things in the way we usually mean it, but structures built by life, one microscopic deposit at a time. Now, notice what that really means. Some of these mounds will grow for centuries. Some, remarkably, are still growing in a handful of places on Earth today. The oldest continuously running biological structures the planet has ever produced. But don't mistake this for a peaceful world. Even without a single animal to hunt or be hunted, early Earth is still ruled by force. Sunlight is a resource fought over. Cyanobacteria mats compete for the shallow, lit water where photosynthesis is even possible, smothering rivals beneath their own accumulating layers. Chemical energy from the vents is finite. Colonies that can extract it more efficiently simply outlast the ones that can't. This is not predation in the way the word will one day mean. There are no jaws here, no claws. But it is still unmistakably a fight. A slow, silent, chemical war for the right to exist, played out over millions of years instead of moments. And above all of it, the sky itself is far from settled. Early Earth's climate is a system still finding its balance. An atmosphere thickened by volcanic gas. An ocean still absorbing and releasing heat unevenly across a globe with no ice caps to anchor it. No familiar seasons to regulate it. If you were standing here, there would be no shelter from any of it. Storms of a scale almost impossible to picture roll across oceans with no shorelines to break them. In other eras, ice sheets creep down from the poles, locking away entire seas, only to melt back again over spans of time longer than every human civilization combined. Stability on this planet is not yet a guarantee. It is something the planet is still learning to do. And through every one of those extremes, the heat, the storms, the ice, the endless chemical competition for light and energy, the stromatolite mats endure. Not by fighting back in any way a person would recognize, by simply continuing. Layer after layer. Generation after generation of organisms too small to see, quietly and irreversibly changing the air above them. Because that oxygen the cyanobacteria are releasing isn't disappearing. It's accumulating. In the water first, then bound into iron deposits on ancient seafloors, and eventually, inevitably, into the atmosphere itself. This is a planet being terraformed from the inside, not by any intention, but by the simple, patient chemistry of the smallest living things it has ever produced. Nothing about this world would look familiar to anyone standing on it today. No trees, no grass, no coastline shaped the way we'd recognize one. No mountain range that hasn't since been ground down and rebuilt many times over. And certainly still no animal of any kind. Not a fish, not an insect, not the faintest hint of anything with a nervous system to notice any of this happening. And yet, the foundation is being laid. Every layer of stromatolite, every breath of oxygen released into a once poisonous sky is quietly building toward a threshold this planet hasn't crossed yet. The moment when single cells stop working alone, and life, for the first time, begins to become something more than microbial. That threshold is still far away. Over 1 billion years away, in fact. But for now, under a violent sky, across an ocean without a single fish in it, the first and longest chapter of Earth's story is already being written. In mineral, in oxygen, and in colonies too small to see, patiently building the ancient world that everything else will one day stand on. If you enjoyed this journey through the earliest chapter of Earth's history, make sure to subscribe to RB Origins of Civilization and join us for the next documentary, because this story has only just begun. In the next episode, we'll witness one of the greatest turning points in Earth's history, when simple life begins changing an entire planet forever. Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep discovering the incredible story of our origins.